G'day everyone and welcome back to Derriere Farms' ongoing coverage of the Platinum DLC, Silver Run Forest. We've had a look at a lot of the other production sites, but I haven't really gone into, and I haven't really seen a lot of other people go into the paper mill and how profitable it is. I have been using it on my test map, which is the map I'm on right now. And I just did it to basically take a quick look at it. I hadn't really sat down and run the numbers on it. So in this video, we're going to run the numbers on the paper mill. As you know from my previous videos, I have said once you get the Northern Sawmill or the iron mine, you are in the money, or potentially in the money, because you can start work on the construction projects and you can also sell the lumber by train, which is pretty good. Anyway, we will be going into the rest of the productions, and apart from the fact that you need them for the roller coaster, how profitable they are. In a little bit more detail. Like I said, I've already done a video on most of the productions. But if you're interested in finding out more about Silver Run Forest, and especially making money on Silver Run Forest, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. And please, you will earn my eternal gratitude if you leave a like because you find this video useful. Excuse me, I suddenly got hiccups. I can't really edit that out. So, I did some basic math, and this, well, let me take a step back. What I did was in September at 1 o'clock, or slightly after 1 o'clock, I had set my paper mill, my iron mill, and sawmill, all my productions to selling. So they had absolutely nothing in storage. I then filled them up with lumber, and I ran forward 24 hours to see what would get produced. I'm not going to spend too much time on the production mill, sawmill, because we've already covered that. And yeah, it makes a lot of money. It makes about 150, depending on how you sell it, of course, makes a difference. But it can make upwards of 150,000, 160,000 per day or per in-game month. I thought I better clarify that for those of you that are playing with months that have multiple days. So nobody turns around and goes, Jay, I'm not making $160,000 a day, but I'm also running 6-day months, so that's a big difference. I mean, these are worth about $10,000 a piece if you sell them to Elm Creek, which is the catch. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000. Yeah, so I did the math on it. 70, 80, 90. You're looking at 90,000 minus your long planks and your regular planks. Now, if you have been watching my Let's Play series, you will see what I call the money train. I load up all the lumber I don't need, and I throw it on the train and I sell it to Elm Creek. And Elm Creek, let's have a quick look. Long planks, for example, not long planks, we want wood beams. Price is down a little bit this month, but you're still around $10,000 So you're making over $1,000 more per month by selling to Elm Creek than you are at the boatyard or somewhere like that. But that's not the point of this video. Again, the paper mill. What I'm doing is I'm comparing the paper mill to the other productions because I think it's fairly important to actually have a comparison. And you'll see why in a minute. The other one, as you know, either from my previous how-to videos or from my Let's Play videos, is the iron furnace. Now, the lumber mill takes a fair amount of material. The sawmill, I should say, takes a fair amount of material. It's free. You can argue it's free. It just takes time and effort to harvest it. Fair enough. Same with the iron furnace. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and almost a 10th one in waiting. And again, iron. Not iron, but metal. Is over 10,000 in Elm Creek. So again, you can make, if you've watched my videos, you're making about 100,000 off of selling metal to Elm Creek. So, what about selling paper? Now, let's look at what the paper mill has produced so far. And I set 2 paper mills up first, and then we'll look at the prices and compare them. As well, we will then look at how much wood the various productions have gone through. So this is a paper mill I placed. This one is producing both cardboard rolls or carton rolls and paper. In 24 hours, it produced 1 roll of paper, and we are still patiently waiting. We have, 54 liters to go. 2,800. Yeah, we have 46 liters to go before it produces a carton roll. So carton rolls are definitely slower. If we go to this paper mill here, exactly the same inputs. The only thing is I put this on producing paper and paper only, and in about half an hour, half hour less time, it's produced 2 full rolls of paper, and it's 222 liters into producing its next roll of paper. All right, so let's very quickly take a look at what those productions used. I believe this was 29,000 is the total wood capacity for the paper mill. Let's double check that. I've got the buy productions installed, so we're at 16. 13 puts it to 29, so yeah, 30,000 liters. And this one, which is producing both cartons, has used a little bit less because turns out that it's a split production. It doesn't produce things at the same rate. It divides its total production by the recipe. So that's why it's used slightly less wood, is because it's trying to produce cartons. Cartons take a little bit less wood than paper, but it's still, it's still over the 50% mark of usage. Metal, like I said, is absolutely the best one. This one, you can see it's still almost full, and it's produced. The iron furnace is your moneymaker, along with your old sawmill. Like I said, the old sawmill It's taken probably 40% of the wood to produce that, and it takes a lot of wood. Let's see how much wood I need to. So I need 42,000 liters of wood to bring it back up to 110. Understandably so. It's making the most amount of product in the same amount of time. Okay, on that note, let's hop down here to the sawmill. And give me a second. I'm going to go and I'm going to round up the 2 rolls of paper, put them on the train, and we're going to see how much money they sell for. Okay, so here we have our 2 rolls of paper ready to go, ready to be sold. Again, let's double check the price to make sure it is Elm Creek. Yeah, at 10,500 per 1,000 liters. And there's almost 3,000 liters per roll. Cartons, not quite as high, I find, and it takes longer to produce. If it had a production use for it, I would say go ahead and produce carton rolls. But for the amount of time it takes to produce a carton roll, and for the fact that it sells for slightly less than a paper roll, I would say it's not worth doing carton rolls. You might as well just stick to paper. What would have been kind of a neat production, and I'm going off topic a little bit here, I know, as I usually do. What would have been a neat production would have been paper box production, which used the carton rolls, and you then needed to supply, let's say, the wood turner who puts their products into paper or cardboard boxes. You needed to supply them with pallets of cardboard boxes. I think that would have definitely made carton rolls a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let's take our train, and why is it only showing? Oh no, it makes sense. Yeah, 5,600 liters of paper. So, I mean, no matter how many times I have driven over this bridge, I still can't get over the view. If there wasn't a camera collision half the time, I still think the view is fantastic. And I'm surprised nobody has come out with a mod like they did in Farming Simulator 19 to disable the camera collision, so you don't have that horrible snapping back and forth. Okay, so yes, let's go. Okay. 29,620 times 2. Well, let's call it 30,000 minus 800. So 60. So you made about $53,000 off of a day's worth of paper. It's still a pretty good return on investment. For the amount of wood it takes, you can easily load up one truck and fill the paper mill no problem. You just let it go. And it will probably go for 2 days before you need to fill it. Obviously, the iron furnace is still the best because you only need to fill it every couple of days. The northern sawmill, well, you probably need to fill it every 2, maybe 2.5 days for it to stay fully maxed out. So, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think paper is rather undervalued. And that's why in my Let's Play series, well, it will be in the next episode coming out, I have invested in the paper mill. So definitely do not, I don't want to say disregard the paper mill. I think there are people starting to figure out, for the amount of time and resources you put into it, for its production cost, which really isn't that high, while it's not going to generate the same amount of money as the iron furnace or the sawmill, it is still a very good money maker. Especially, again, as I said in the previous video, as the inputs are free. All it takes is wood. The only other production that takes wood for free as an input is the wood turner, but it doesn't crank out that much per day. If you look at the recipe, it's a fairly slow production. What I've found is you get maybe 1 crate of each every day. A crate and a half, let's say. Yeah, 414 based on when I stopped it. And you are definitely off a case of staircase railings. I mean, these are worth 5,000-6,000 a piece tops. Yeah, so you're making 15,000 off of that. So, whole point, do not forget about the paper mill. Like I said, I know a lot of people have not featured it in their Let's Play videos yet. I have seen a couple of posts on the forums where people do talk about the paper mill, but for what it costs to operate and how much you get out of it, I think it's a forgotten production for a lot of people. And the other thing I've noticed, that a few people that have talked about the paper mill, they did what I kind of did, was they placed the paper mill down here. Well, you know what? This paper mill, pre-placed, you don't have that far to go. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great one. And don't forget to, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe for more content about Farming Simulator 22 and Silver Run Forest. Thanks. Bye.